Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. P. Rajiv Kumar. In this video, I will be discussing about this topic. These topics may be useful for you for your university examinations, public service commission, competitive examinations, gate examinations, etc. There will be other videos also related to geotechnical engineering. There will be videos related to numerical problems in geotechnical engineering also. You may subscribe to my channel, like and share these videos. Thank you. These are the reference textbooks I have used for preparing this video. It is known that stresses in soils due to loaded areas create deformation. These stresses are caused by self-weight of soil called geostatic stress, structural loads which are applied at or below the surface. Stresses due to point load at the surface is explained in Bosina's theory. It states that stresses caused by the self-weight of soil, termed as geostatic stresses. There can be stresses in the horizontal and vertical planes within the soil matrix or soil mass. If the unit weight of the soil is constant with depth, then vertical geostatic stress is gamma is equal to unit weight of soil, and Z is depth at which stress is calculated, is given as sigma V is equal to gamma into Z. This is the Bossinus theory. There are different analysis methods proposed by Bossinus, Newmark, etc. There are approximate methods also developed by various researchers. These are the photographs of Joseph Bosinas and Nathan M. Newmark, who are the ancient developers related to stresses in soils. There are several assumptions related to Bosinas theory and solution. First one is soil is homogeneous and isotropic. Second one is soil mass is semi-infinite. It means that the soil medium extends to infinity in the downward direction and in the lateral directions. Third one is soil mass is an elastic continuum, obeys Hooke's law, and is having constant value of modulus of elasticity. Next one is soil is weightless and is free from residual stresses before the application of the load. Change in volume of soil upon application of load is neglected, and stresses are distributed symmetrically with respect to z-axis. This is a soil element in the cubic form which is below the ground surface. It is acted upon by a point load Q at the point O. Okay, and in the x-axis the side of the cube is x, the y-axis the side of cube is y unit, and in the z-axis that edge is z unit. Okay, so our interest is to measure the stress which is acting at a point z prime in the z axis at this corner. Okay, and that hypotenuse, if you create a rectangle, right angled triangle, the hypotenuse is nothing but r is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. The stress in the vertical direction is given for a point load as 3q divided by 2 pi z square into 1 by 1 plus r by z square the whole raised to 5 by 2. Here q is the point load intensity, z is the depth at which the stress is measured, r is the distance from point load to the particular edge where the stress is calculated, below where the stress is calculated. Okay. And Kb is the Bose influence factor or coefficient of point load. This can be written as a term 3 by 2 pi into 1 by 1 plus r by z the whole square, the whole raised to 5 by 2. Okay. So the maximum stress which is given by the expression 0.4775 q by z square, which will be vertically directly down at the point load. This expression is related to the vertical stress under strip load. You can see here a strip load of width capital B with the intensity Q per unit area. Okay. Suppose you need to find out the stress at the point P. So you can utilize this equation, and alpha is the included angle here and beta is the angle between the vertical and the line which is joining from the center of the strip load to the point where the stress is measured. Okay, if beta is equal to 0, when beta becomes 0, the point P will be directly below the center of the strip footing. So then the first equation changes to sigma z is equal to q by pi into alpha plus sine alpha. This expression is for the vertical stress under circular area. Capital R is the radius of the circular area. Z is the depth at which the stress is to be found, and Q is the intensity of loading. This is the equation that corresponds to the vertical stress under circular area. Now we will see the stress below rectangular area. Here we consider a corner at this point, okay, and the expression corresponding to the vertical stress is given here. Sigma V or delta sigma V is equal to Q times I. Q is the pressure intensity or load intensity acting over the rectangular area, and this is the expression corresponding to the term I. You multiply this term with Q, you will get the vertical stress. Now we will see the limitations of Bosene's equation or solution. Bosene's solution was initially obtained for elastic solids. Its application to soils may be questioned as the soils are far more purely elastic solids. Solution can be justified for increase in stresses. Solution is not strictly applicable for decrease in stresses as the stress to strain is not linear for stress decrease. The third one is in deep sand deposits, E increases with an increase in depth and not giving satisfactory results. And the fourth one is not strictly applicable for footings as it is embedded. Newmark's chart is developed based upon the Bosene's equation. And Newmark developed the influence chart to compute the vertical stress due to loaded areas of any shape, irregular or geometric, below any point either inside or outside of the loaded area. Newmark's chart is a chart consisting of a number of circles and radial lines such that each area or unit formed in the shape of a sector between two concentric circles and two adjacent radial lines causes equal vertical stresses at the center of the diagram. This is the typical representation of Newmark's influence chart. Suppose you have the plan of loaded area. You place this one in this Newmark's chart and find out the number of squares which are covered by the area. In such a case, you can calculate the vertical stress sigma Z is equal to I into N into Q. I is the influence coefficient. For the previous chart, it is 0.005 and N is the number of small areas under each loaded area. Q is the intensity of loading. There is a term called stress isobar. Okay. An isobar is a curve joining the points of equal stress intensity. That is contour of stresses of the shape of a bulb. An isobar is a curved surface having the shape of an electric bulb. Isobar is symmetrical about the vertical line passing through the loaded point. Isobars are useful for determining the effect of load on the vertical stresses at various points. The zone within which the stresses have a significant effect on the settlement of structures is known as the pressure bulb. The area outside the pressure bulb is assumed to have negligible stresses. This is a typical sketch of pressure bulb. You can see there are many isobars consist of a pressure bulb. This is also a pressure bulb for circular footing. You can see here it is plotted in a scale. You can see here as the depth progresses, the pressure intensity becomes low.